I know, Doctor. You are the best. Back to back 1993. 1994. I know you've always been a dream come true. Yeah, you've always been a dream come true. The dream come true. Into another dream. No. How about another nightmare? Full of violence, speed, momentum. That's the type of suffocation that I like to dream about. I like to feel. Domination, baby. Violence. Speed. Momentum. How about another nightmare? Violence. Speed. Momentum. Domination, baby.
Hello and welcome to Star Esports. A little bit of rebranding. I'm not sure if we're still going to go by the Watchers for this, but you know, I'll throw both in there just to make sure we're completely understood here. And today we have two matches, and I get to be joined by my co-caster Aries. Aries, say hello.
Bonjour, tu appelé français? I'm just kidding.
All right. So we also have someone else with us. Saife, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Sophie, I am the owner, creator, and strategic coach of Phase 1.
All right, so that sounds like a lot of titles. Is that like a pretty heavy workload? Do you find yourself spending a lot of time with them with what sounds like a lot?
It's my baby. I'm an assistant coach at Phase 2, the contenders team, and Phase 1 is directly linked to our team. Saltshaker is rostered on the contenders team, And me and him put this project together. We've picked up some talented players that we liked. Everyone was invite only, and we've started putting together a new team. We're trying new things, and we're testing the game and testing the players.
All right, very cool. Did you do a lot of research coming into this match right here, or was this more of a kind of we know what we're going to be up against already?
Our team's very young, so we are mostly still working on our own stuff. We're optimizing our own comps and our own playstyle rather than scouting other people at the moment.
Yeah, and since you're like such a new team, do you have any worries going into this of maybe the communication might be a little off, or kind of have this untested waters going into this one, you feel?
Not really. Everyone was picked on this team for their sort of adaptability and their skill sets. They were all handpicked players. So,
Yeah, very neat. Aries, you got any questions you'd like to ask?
How are you feeling coming into this game? Are you feeling a little bit nervous coming against MetaMorphic, or are you ready to tackle the world with this roster?
we're expecting to win the tournament.
That's great. Great news to hear. And that's all the questions I really had for today. But thank you so much for coming in here. Good luck to you guys. I'm sure you guys might not need luck or you don't believe in it or whatever, but have fun.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Cheers. And with that, we'll be trying to get into this game at some point in the near future, possibly just waiting on one more player, it looks like, to come in here. But Zach, how are you feeling for this game coming into this?
I'm feeling pretty good about it because MetaMorphic I've been watching, and they have some very good GOATS comps, and I also believe I got to see them like mess around with those GOAT comps and maybe interchange a few things. So I feel like it'd be really interesting to see what they can throw in here, knowing how good of a team they are with their GOATs. Phase 1, I don't know too much about. Like he said, it was a new team, but I am really excited. He was really hyping them up to me, and it's just gonna be a good match, I think, all around.
Yeah, it should definitely be a very, very good match. Of course, Phase 1, beating off defeating Troughs, I believe that's the name of it if I'm reading correctly. 3-0, 3-0, wherever you're in the world, really. Just kind of throw that in there just in case, whatever. But they won. They did not allow one single map against them so far. And of course, we all know MetaMorphic is a very, very strong team. They also got a bye last week and of course beat Perfection 3-0, 3-0, and of course coming into this match, neither team has lost a map so far, and MetaMorphic is a very, very strong roster that we've seen here on the Watchers, or wherever you want to call us at this point. I mean, we're just going to mix it in like M&Ms. It's basically the same thing, but you know, it's a different flavor. You may like it. Some people like the red M&Ms for some reason, but you know, tomato, tomato.
Yeah, I have no preference of M&Ms. I don't know. I don't even think there's any difference with the color. I think it's just the color.
Yeah,
right?
There is no difference, but some people like to think there's a difference, and we won't judge you for that. We won't judge you
not
for
at all.
That, but yeah, going to this game, it should be very interesting to see how that should be going. And I do have a good bit of confidence in Phase 1, of course, with what we just did in the interview, having that so much confidence and saying that, oh yeah, we should definitely win this tournament at this point. But you never know, things can happen, things can change. Like MetaMorphic has some really good communication skills that I've seen in the past tournaments, and I actually have not gotten the chance to see Phase 1, so it should be definitely really interesting to see how they're going to be playing. But with that, let's see when we will be getting into this game. We will be starting on Lijiang Tower, of course, going to be the control map, which we start off with a good bit of the time. This will be the main bracket semifinals. Yes, it is. Quarterfinals, semifinals, kind of. Yeah. But
yeah,
going into that.
No matter what, it's an important match because every match is an important match when you're still in this bracket, because you may get knocked out. You still got a chance to pick it back up. And as always, at the end, the winner of the bottom bracket can go against the winner of the upper bracket. So, you know, you may lose it here, but you can always bring it back. But still, you want to take this because you don't want to fall into that safety net, because underneath that, there's nothing else. So you really want to get this win here.
Yeah, and like you said, it's like a double and out. You need that. You like to have that safety net, but some teams want to play like there is no safety net. So they want to play with their backs up against the wall, which is honestly my preferred method of playing in tournaments. Of course, I've played in previous tournaments, and that's how I love to play with I love to have that like chip on my shoulder and like, hey, our back's up against this wall. We need to push as hard as we can for this. And that's how some teams go, and see if these teams play like that. And it'll be interesting to see if they're going to be holding back any strategies or not. And do you think they will in this match, either on the side of MetaMorphic or FaZe 1?
Honestly, going into this matchup, I think that they're both really great teams. Like said previously, no maps really have been dropped, so I think going into this, it's going to be hard for both of them. So we might see something that they might have in their back pocket be thrown out onto the field, or we might not, depending on how they feel like they should keep playing this. If they feel like they're just maybe didn't have a good map, maybe they'll just keep that, whatever strategy that is, in their pocket, or that they could continue on and use something maybe we haven't seen before, and hopefully that'll get them the win if all else fails.
Yeah, you definitely like to have a good bag of tricks just in case something does happen. Say your, I don't know, GOAT's composition is not stacking up well against theirs. You want to have like a quad DPS you can lean on just in case, or a counter for teams. Like, I know a lot of teams will scout the other team and they'll go and see what can really destroy the composition that the team is having. And speaking of compositions, as of right now, how are these looking from each team from your perspective?
They're kind of looking the way I expect them to look here in this match. Over on the side of FaZe 1, you have your standard Zen Goats, and over on the other side for MetaMorphic, you're seeing a lot of a mashup here. 2 supports with the Mei. Don't know if they're going to stick on this. They might elect to, they might not. Looks like they are. Okay, so something we're going to see out here in Night Market. Pretty exciting to see what they're going to do here with this. But speaking of exciting, FaZe 1 actually completely changed up their comp when I wasn't paying attention.
Definitely love to see that happening. They do have that Torbjorn and running that triple DPS. And to be interesting, most people elect to go for that quad DPS, but they're not going to be doing that. And right now, Gatos is able to find first blood here against Romanov, and he's going to get traded out there by DanTwist on that Torbjorn. And one like key thing that needs to happen in these fights is that shield for the Reinhardt on the other side of Marky Mark, because once that shield goes down, then you can just blast in towards it. But they're able to capture this first point so far with a really nice ice wall there to section them out. But DanTwist is able to get JD here, and there's some trades coming out right now that possibly shouldn't be coming out, and just some late stagger going on that you don't really want to see. And I mean, what are some micro things that need to happen during this next fight that can be changed from that first one?
I think at the start that Romanov was playing a little too aggressive, so he was up really close and just got picked off by the Mei, but then it just kept going back and forth until finally the first tank was down. But a lot of things are going on right now, like this Graviton. Molten Core.
Yeah.
Really
they tried to combo a lot of things there, but that sound barrier really kept them alive, and it's really helping out right now as they're able to get these kills. But Poseidon will be traded out here, and that's going to be an important kill. But speaking of important kills, that Ana on Cal will be taken down, and Marky Mark as well. That's that Reinhardt with that Urshad is going to be taken down. That's going to be no shield there. But Romanov's going to be going for that Death Pulse, and he's able to get one on Noctis, and Gatos would also be going down on the side of the opposite Mei, and he's able to find another one on the potion, and they're able to capture this point back. And what do you think about the ult usage during that fight?
I mean, it was a lot. Do I think there may have been some ultimates that could have been held on to a little bit more? Yes, of course. But I think looking at it, that they still have that freeze, and that's really what they're going to be depending on for FaZe 1. So if JD's able to eat that like that, then it's going to be game over on the side of FaZe 1.
Huge eat there, and it's should be interesting to go for this. Poseidon is able to get Romanov, and they should be able to flip this point pretty easily after those nice kills coming off from them there. And it looks like they will, as it is 66 to 35, 34 as it stops at, but around 70 right now for MetaMorphic. And going into this, Cal's gonna take a dip off the map, but what do you think needs to change here for them to win this without many ultimates on their side?
I think it's what it's going to come down to is trying to just take out one of the supports because that Lucio is just going to make everyone a sitting duck, relatively speaking. But if you also take out the Mora, that's a large portion of healing. So I think really just focus onto the supports is going to be able to win them the fight here, as long as they're able to take them out in time.
Yeah, of course, the supports are huge, especially when you have a Sound Barrier and a Coalescence going to be coming in. Here comes going to be the Molten Core as well. And the Diva Bomb going to be going into this close quarters. Only able to get one. That's going to be Muffin. That might be enough as there's that Lucio down. And there's a Sound Barrier on the side of MetaMorphic to try to hold this attack off. And it looks like they may be able to do that. Dan Twist is not letting it happen easily as he's able to get 3 there. Oh my goodness, a 4th one as well. Not able to hold on to it for that much longer as that Torbjorn decides to go huge with that one. And that was just a great fight win from them.
Yeah, that was a really good turnaround from them, especially after the grab was used. I think the issue with the grab was that so many people were just on the other side of that little pillar in the middle of the tower. So everyone was trying to shoot at the one person who was on that side. But meanwhile, 3 of them were over on the other side, and you're going to hear this Riptire come out, and this could be pretty good considering that right now Marky Mark is sleeping.
It's able to get Marky Mark, and that's going to be a huge kill onto that Reinhardt, and that's just going to force a retreat out of them. And this has been a kind of back and forth, each team having some really, really nice solo plays coming out, especially from Dan Twist. He does have that Molten Core available, that Molten Lava, and of course that Blizzard can also be affected. You wouldn't think that 2 different, you know, polar opposites of a temperature would be able to mix together well, but I guess they are.
Yeah, I got everything they need there, the hot and the cold. Going into this fight now, that's exactly what you're seeing again, that hot and cold combo.
Yeah, it's able to get 1, and Poseidon's also going to be taking it down here. Muffin will be traded out. It's going to be huge with the Coalescence from Potion's able to get 2 so far, and the healing as well going to be coming in. Poseidon's going to be switching off onto this Trace. This is going to be the last fight of this point onto Night Market. And right now, it will be going to MetaMorphic, able to turn this one around. And overtime is ticking down, and they will not be able to touch it as MetaMorphic are able to take Night Market on a really nice last fight with that Coalescence coming out after that Blizzard and that Molten Core coming out, able to transfer it over onto their side after those 2 ults were used, just able to counter with just 1 with that Coalescence, of course not being trapped in that Blizzard, able to get a good bit of healing out of it, and the damage. And Zach, what do you think, going on to the second point here, what do you think is a huge, major thing that you saw that can definitely be fixed?
I think it's just pretty much Marky Mark able to keep himself up, because it felt like he was going down really early in those fights, and thankfully they were able to pull it back at the end and take that map for them. And then on the side of phase 1, I don't know, they're kind of switching it up here. They had a lot of sustain before on individual characters, so hopefully with this they have that high damage output, they can get close enough.
Yeah, of course, and with this Bastion, you need to be able to set up with, they need to be dedicated with that as your tanks, and that's going to be a huge part of it if they are going to be able to sell into it and buy into it, I guess I should say. But it should be interesting. They're going to try to dive in on this, and they're able to take him down very quickly there. There's a huge 4-person anti, and that's definitely going to put them in the favor. That's going to throw a twist in it. That is Dan Twist is able to get 2. I know I just spit that one in there. And a foreskin is... okay, that... okay, I'm just going to call him Doctor at this point. But Dan going huge into this one. I got you baited. God dang it. Whatever. But Twist is able to get a good bit into that one. And I'm sorry I refused. I'm sorry, Sensei. But Zach, I mean, what do you think they need to do to get Vulcan and Twist? Because they have to go in on one of them. And they chose Vulcan that time, and it just did not work.
I think what made that was that really good anti-nade, and the fact that Dan Twist, is just able to just hit them from such a far range, so there's not much they can really do about it if the Diva's not going full in with like maybe some help from the Mei if they can hit their shots over on the Pharah. There's not much they can do. They gotta walk all the way in here, and there's such a high damage, they have to use that wall, and that's exactly what they're gonna do.
Yeah, they do need to use that. And Muffin's able to get a nice boop there onto Noctis. And Romanov is also able to get another one. Here comes a Death Blossom. It's able to get 1. It's Dan Twist able to de-Mega Jade. And another nice boop there from Dan Twist this time. And just able to get a really nice clean fight win there after, I believe, only using the Death Blossom and the Nano. Actually, they did use a Barrage in there. It didn't really get much at all. But do you think that was effective ult usage from them, from phase 1?
Yeah, from phase 1, absolutely. Everything there, I think, was good. I wouldn't have questioned anything about it looking back at it 300 times. I think that they made the right choices there with that.
Perfect. That's definitely what you want to hear. You definitely want to get usage out of those ultimates at the right times. You definitely don't want to, if it's a 1-on-6 and there's plenty of time to be able to come back, you don't want to use a huge ultimate like an Earth Shatter. Not able to get enough. But here comes a Blizzard, which can be really effective on this close quarters point. Not able to get actually anything out of it. Dan Twist, and Dan Twist is able to get 2 here so far in this fight, and Muffin Man Romanov able to chip in with it so far as well. And Potion's the only one that's not down. They're gonna trying to get into overtime. It will be taken to overtime, but the Lucio is barely able to touch it to sustain it. And this is gonna be a really, really big uphill battle for MetaMorphic to try to get onto this, because they're just gonna have to go with dive heroes, and that's saying they can even touch it. But this definitely is over, and we'll be going 1-1 here on Li Zhang. And please don't make me fight my words. Thank you. It will be 1-1 here on Night Market. And with that 100-0, do you think that's like a humbler on the side of MetaMorphic after that first point?
Yeah, I think that mostly, like, they got to think to themselves what went wrong there. And I think what really went wrong there is that there was just so much damage output, and they were just able, phase 1, to rotate around Vulcan hitting from a longer range as the Basher turret set up. So they threw out their Mei ultimate, and nothing really could have been done about it because he was so far back. And then Doctor was just able to activate their Fortify, so the freeze didn't affect them at all, and they're still able to put out damage. So I think going into this one that they're really going to have to think about, okay, if they run that again, what's a way to counter that? And I think that's what they're doing right now, is they're trying to think of a way to counter it with something that looks very, very new to me.
Yeah, well, new can be good. But they're going to be trying to fight up here. Nartis is able to, that's one part about it, is the boops coming out opposite on the side there. Betrayed going to be coming in, but Nartis is able to get another one on Doctor, on that Orisa. And both teams are trying to go for this setup, but the thing is, if that Orisa goes down, there's no shield, that opposite Bastion is just going to absolutely melt your team. And going back to this, because it happened before on the last point, what do you think they need to do for either team to stop the setup from happening?
I think to stop the setup from happening, you just kind of have to win your fights there. And being on that like outer part of the map, which is where you want to be set up with this type of composition, it's really hard, especially when you're getting booped off like that. This is definitely not the map you expect all the boops to come in on, but that's exactly what you're seeing right here. Muffin Man with another boop. I think there's been like 5 or 6 boops already on this.
Something like that. Something insane so far, for at least for this point. But Gatus is able to get one there on the Muffin Man with that Symmetra switching off to it. But he'll be taken down very quickly here by Vulcan, getting absolutely melted, as that's just what Vulcan does on that Bastion. And they're able to take this point right now. Just some stagger going to be coming in here. But they definitely will be able to take this very quickly. Cal is actually able to get 2 with the same anti-nade. Cal putting in, you know, possibly a good play of the game effort there on the Ana.
Yeah, Cal's throwing a little bit of slam dunk. Right now on the side of MetaMorphic, you can see they're going to switch back over their goats because they're thinking, okay, they're on this ground over here. We can just rush onto them, but now they're back up top near the ledge where many have been booped off. Hopefully none more. But now they really don't know what to do. They're going to have to try to get the speed boost, hopefully get up to there. They're going to use the Mei wall to try to just blockade some of them off, but I don't know if it'll be enough.
Yeah, they tried to push that Bastion on top and weren't able to capitalize off of it. He's actually able to capitalize with there on the Gatos. Mark is also going to be taken down here. He's going to be zoned down. Dan Twist is actually able to get him in close quarters, but Potion's going to be able to get a trade on Cal, and Potion will be teared out as soon as I say that by Vulcan, getting absolutely obliterated. And they're able to stick control of this after a furious push from them in that crafty Mei wall, not able to capitalize. And if they were able to capitalize on that, then I think they would have had that point easily. But you know, if wishes were fishes, we'd all be swimming in the ocean. But, you know.
All right. Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah, going into this, they really, what they have to do is disrupt their little bubble bunker that they have going on here. And you see in that last fight, it didn't really help them out too much there. But Dan Twist up at the top, getting ready for that tire. They don't know where he is, possibly. And
Yeah, that can be dangerous. And oh, the bubble's gonna be coming in on the right people. And Jade's gonna be able to take down Romanov as he's not on the right side of the shield, but Vulcan's gonna be able to get a trade nicely done there onto Marky Mark. Poseidon will not be able to rule the seas of this air. I tried. Anyways, Vulcan will be frozen here, and nothing will be able to come from it just because of the shield, and not many people are going to be there for it, and they will have a good chance of doing this right now. And the Vulcan is able to get one there onto Gatos, on a potion, sorry, but oh my goodness, the Church is just going to be coming out here. Gonna be going really well for them, and overtime will be taken down. It looks like they will be able to take Lijiang Tower first off here on phase 1, living up to the potential that their coach had for them coming into this. And what do you think was the big thing that really won that for them?
I think they just had a really interesting team comp that seemed really hard to try to take down, because even though it was a bunker in theory, it kind of played out a little more like everyone was kind of doing their own thing, because not everyone was just sitting behind that big Orisa barrier. You can see everyone's kind of running around doing their own thing. Even the Orisa sometimes doesn't have their shield up, but they're still just kind of going in head on. So I think that they're just able to put in a lot of pressure and able to keep themselves sustained enough to where they can just take down MetaMorphic's lineup and just kind of, I don't know, I guess take out one by one and continue from there.
Yeah, and that's definitely a huge thing, is when you're able to have that confidence in your healers to be able to go for those solo plays and know that you will be able to stay alive and have that sustained healing going for you. But we will have the pick and bans going to be coming in here. And with the pick and bans, we love having them because whenever you ban a map, it's gone for the entire series. You can't bring it back for another time, and you cannot play a control map after this. The same thing happens if we play an assault map next, and we cannot play an assault after that. You cannot play a control right now. Hopefully I explained that correctly. And with the pick and bans, when it comes to the heroes, if you ban a hero for this next map, the map after that, the hero will be able to go, but there's going to be a save coming in before that, so that hero cannot be banned, and the banned hero will not be able to be used by both teams. And I really, really hope I got that correct and explained it well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot to take in, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're able to save a character, you're able to ban a character, you're able to ban a map, and then the other team will be able to choose the map. No one's going to be able to use the banned character on either side.
Yep.
So
You explained that a lot better than I did with a lot less breath.
yeah, mine's just kind of a more summarized version. Yours was the full explanation, but I'm just just putting a little bit of it, a bit. Yeah, sure, little bit everywhere.
I guess
Bits
it
and
definitely
pieces to help you
color.
put the puzzles there. Put the puzzles there. Gosh, I can't speak today. I apologize. To put the pieces together. There we go.
So it's basically like a color cast and a play-by-play. The play-by-play wants to use as much air as they possibly can and make it look like they're dying and their face turns purple. And the color caster just wants to, have plenty of air. They're just awesome. But Junkertown will be banned here, as that has been a map that a lot of teams like to use and a lot of teams hate to use. And it looks like they're not having much of it.
Yeah, it's strange to me that they would elect to ban Junkertown because they seem to like playing that Orisa Bastion type of comp. But we'll see what they decide to go from here. Hollywood is going to be the map MetaMorphic are deciding to go to. And Hollywood, I think, is very good for a bunker on the defense. On the offense, I think it's also very good for the GOATs. So MetaMorphic on the offense there, they really could take this map, I think, if they're able to make sure that they keep themselves nice and tight together and they're able to get around over to where the bunker might be if they decide to do that.
Yeah, but with that bunker, I've noticed to see a lot of teams not use bunker and instead going for that 3-3, going with that traditional GOATs, or even going with the quad DPS, and sometimes not even running that Orisa or that Bastion with that quad. But there's a bunch of different combinations you can go with on Hollywood. It's a very, very diverse map, at least in my opinion, when it comes to defense and offense. I mean, most times on the offense you will see a Sombra, go out and scout, but it's really up to the team on what they prefer to do, but most teams like to scout on Hollywood. That's at least what I've been able to gather. But with that, I wonder when we will be going on to this, because it seems as if Phase 1 will be going on the defense and Orisa will be saved. But MetaMorphic do need to ban a hero whenever they do, please. And
yeah, I
you-
think
you-
for. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, well, you know, you want to know what one of the small things is I love?
Tell me about it. What do you love? Small thing.
It's when the teams read the rule set and know which maps are on the pool or in the pool.
Wow.
It gets
Call
me
'em out.
gassed. No, they both teams knew. We didn't really have that conversation so far during this, and oh my goodness, Romanov is not happy. He has just face planted into the keyboard and then hit caps lock and typed in WHY because a ban on Reaper will be happening.
Yeah, and going into that, I was trying to think what would Metamorphic ban there, because they know they like running the Orisa, but that's what was saved. So do you want to ban out one of their supports maybe? But like banning out either an Ana or the Mercy or the BAP, they're all interchangeable for the supports. So they're gonna like to go with the Reaper because, to be fair, Romanov was going pretty ham with that Reaper, and honestly, I might be a little upset that I'm not gonna see this map. But
Yeah,
hopefully we can see them pop off on another character.
Yeah, I see some diversity in here. You know, we'd love to see people flex. I've seen some really, really weird ones going from a main like Reinhardt to like a Mercy at like mid map. It was that was an interesting one, but
How'd they do?
actually it was pretty good.
Pretty good? Nice.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was like, yeah, you're definitely better at main tank, but you're not bad at Mercy. But you never know with teams. It's interesting.
Mhm.
Sometimes they'll just bust out a shot for a little bit, and if it works, and they see the other team trying to switch off and try to counter it, then they just switch off to a weird composition to throw them off, and then they go back to the original composition after they switch for it. It's a lot of mental game here in esports, but yeah, it should be interesting. But what's your craziest composition story?
My craziest composition story? I can't tell you craziest composition in general, but I can tell you I remember playing a goats with 5 people because we had someone leave on Ilios. Like the first round they left, and so we just decided to play like a 5-man goats the whole time against a 6, and we beat them. We actually won the map. That's the only time I've ever won a 5v6, and it was pretty much the whole game.
Wow, that is. I applaud you for that one.
Yeah, I think
Anyways.
I can't remember what we didn't have. I think we just didn't have the diva.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm gonna be honest, I just muted my mic and started whistling what Bastion is doing right now. Anyways, to see which teams are gonna go in. There's a double Maywall, and that Reinhardt is gonna get frozen, and he is gonna be freezer burnt at that point by Vulcan. He's been doing actually really well in this May. Actually been able to beat out Gatos so far. Gatos has had his moments, especially on Night Market, but Vulcan, whenever he's switched, he definitely has had a good bit of impact. And the team is actually split up right now, which can definitely be a huge problem. The Reinhardt and Zarya are by the control room, and the rest of the team is back by the cafe. And this is not looking good for MetaMorphic at all.
Yeah,
their team is just crumbling.
I think what they're gonna need to do is just completely reset it. Either go out there and just try to get it over with, or try to run back. Just do something, but you can't just stay there unless you're gonna just decide to kill everybody. That also works.
Yeah, that works, but it shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, now they're gonna be taking out Vulcan probably here. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
that was wow. How did that that may kind of made me bite my lip there with the words. Gatos kind of said, "Hey, you're shouting out Vulcan over there. Here, watch this," and then just kind of Maywalled and killed the Orisa, and that was, yeah, I'll give it to you.
Vulcan just he's gotta sit down for a second, because Gatos passed his drink over. Hold my beer. Let me show you what's good with May. And that's what he's doing right now. He picks off the Torb.
Or your finely aged wine or scotch.
Yeah, whatever your preference. There we go.
Well, I'm not of
I
age,
also thought about
though,
being
technically.
you're fancy. Well, not of age, don't drink. I mean, you don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to drink in general. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's bad for you.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I have to put this in now. Please drink responsibly. We are not condoning any underage drinking or any drinking in general. Please do not drink and drive or anything like that. Please follow the law at any point in time. I feel like I have to say this just because I said that, and anytime I said something that may be a little sketchy, I have to do something regards of like that. And wow, that was really, really impressive. Vulcan barely able to survive after that Nano. But Jade would only be able to get that invincibility by Cal, and here comes a dueling dragon, as I like to call it. Yes, I know it's called a dragon strike, but Vulcan's going to be able to get one. So is Doctor. He's able to get actually two that wasn't able to call it the kill on Marky Mark before, but this offense is absolutely stopped in its tracks after that.
Yeah, there was a lot of ultimates there. I can tell you, Overwatch can get colorful at times, but that was definitely a rainbow right there. I'm not 100% sure how all the ults exactly went down, but I can tell you that Phase 1 was able to come out victorious just by being able to capitalize more on their ults, I guess, than Metamorphic was there.
Yeah. And Dan Twist does have his tank mode available for him. And that should definitely be interesting how they're going to be using that. There will be a Nano going to be going on to, I believe, Jade? I think?
Jade,
I don't really have the viewpoint for it, but here comes a tank, and see if they can get anything out of this. Dancho is not able to get anything so far. Actually able to get Potion in there very, very nicely done, but they may be able to capture this point. They're pushing it really far here. There's about 220 left to go. Here's going to be coming the Graviton Surge. Marco Mark's able to get one on the Muffin Man with that Fire Strike, which is a really nice ultimate builder. And here comes his ultimate, speaking of not able to do much with it whatsoever, and it looks like they're just going to be able to capture the point, and they will. This offense has 3 minutes and 35 seconds left to go during this, and some really nice staggering going to be coming out, especially on Vulcan there. So late into that. They do have the Blizzard, which can definitely turn this fight around, or any fight really, and they do have a lot of ultimates going to be coming out. And how do you think they should use those ultimates?
I think if they're going to want to go ahead and use the ultimates here, they got to, for Vulcan, he has to keep an eye on JD, because JD has eaten one of his Blizzards in the previous map, so what's to say he can't do it again? So keep an eye on where the Diva might be, and make sure that you're able to follow up on the targets that you are freezing.
Yeah, not able to catch it there. No one's going to be frozen, but it will be a very, very nice kill on this, and a very, very nice mechanism that they will be using. And this offense is just going to back up after two nice kills there. They will be able to get a trade onto Noctiv, and some really nice ultimate charge there for Marky Mark, but not able to get anything else out of it. 2:40 remaining with this attack so far on the third point. And going into this, what do you think needs to happen?
I think going into this, they have so many ultimates on the sides of Metamorphic that could really help here, that this freeze could be big, since they don't really have the Zarya to bubble anybody, and JD's just going to throw his ultimate in there, say, hey boys, catch this one, you can't go anywhere. They have no movement whatsoever, little to none, and they just have to stare at it and pray to God that something happens to where they don't die, and unfortunately they didn't pray hard enough.
Yeah, they said catch me outside. How about that? They tried to go outside and they just caught a left-handed hook there with the combo of a right-handed, then went for an uppercut and then got triangle choked at that point. Yes, I watched UFC, don't judge me. Anyways, going to be coming into this with Graviton Surge, and that's going to be an opposite Blizzard going to be coming out to try to focus on those melee targets. They're able to get one out of that's going to be Doctor and Cal, and this defense is not doing much of anything at all, and they're going to be able to capture this third point very, very nicely. Round one complete with a very nice offense. And what do you think on the defensive side they could have done to stop that?
What they could have done on the defensive side to stop that, I think it would really come down to how they were managing their ultimates, because they did use their Baptiste ultimate, I think, kind of a strange time. I could see where they may think it might work, but I think what really made it was that Metamorphic had such a good offense after they were actually able to get the cart moving a little bit more during the first phase in the streets. I don't know exactly what you would call it, the one with the stores and all that, the stage setup. And I think that at the end, they also had some really good ultimate usage. Noctis with a great sound barrier at the end, I think just kept everybody up and stopped them from being so low, because the Doomfist ultimate came through and pretty much just took away the sound barrier, or a large chunk of it, and they're just able to get picks a lot faster on the side of MetaMorphic. JD and Gatos really just flexing on them, showing how big their muscles are, or showing how good their tracking aim is, what have you.
Muscles.
Yeah, muscles are everywhere in your body. That's the great thing about it.
Yep, they definitely are. I hope.
And right now, it looks like they're going to be running a similar Orisa comp on the offense. They really like their Orisa. Doctor is really good on Orisa, in my opinion. They've been doing a really good job at knowing when to use their Fortify, being aggressive, using those protective barriers in the right spaces. And going into this, I mean, this Pharah is just going to be laying waste, and that's what happened. The shield was destroyed, and now they got to back off, and that just gives the space that Phase 1 really want.
Yeah, they do want that space, but that shield going to be breaking and not able to hold much in it, and they will be stuck in that cat bait, which is going to be a very, very difficult predicament, especially with Roman being on that Junkrat and being so close quarters. They're nearly able to get a tick here just with one person on the point, which would be very, very interesting with that Lucio. Of course, with that AoE healing, it looks like they might try to contest up top here. That's going to be a possibility, but the damage on these tanks have been absolutely phenomenal so far on the Marky Mark and JD. And see if they're going to be able to continue. They do have that nano outside of potion. They will be using it here on... Very interesting. And Marky Mark is able to, and Potion are able to chip in on a Dan Twist and a Doctor Skin there. Yes, I'm able to edit your name. Anyways.
Just kind of, make it a little more viewer friendly, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little not Spanish.
Yeah, that was a really good fight right there. It looks like they weren't quite sure on the side of MetaMorphic what to do, but they were able to pick off the Orisa and then just continue on from there. But here comes another tire. These have either been proven to get a couple of picks or no picks. We'll see what this one does.
Yeah, it's either... Oh, and it gets a double. See that, and here comes a Blizzard, and Dan Twist is looking to end this fight. He's able to get one, but Vulcan will be able to go down on the trade there. Poseidon's getting very, very low, so is JD as well. Poseidon will be able to fall, and JD is also getting very, very low. I said his name a lot, JD. Anyways, Noctis will be getting low as well, of course. 4 will be getting very taken down, and so will Roman after that huge Diva Bomb there, but they will be able to take this point after 2 players are on the point. It's going to be the Lucio. Here comes the Dragon Strike going to be coming in here, possibly going to be able to get one, at least not able to. Actually, Potion's going to be coming in here with the Nano Blade. Nano Boost going to be going into that. Reinhardt's going to be trying to fish for something. Not able to get in. That's also going to be a Nano Blade, or not a Nano Boost onto the side of the Pharah. Not able to get it, actually able to get one there with 3 assists to it. Onto Marky Mark, and there's going to be a huge anti-nade there onto Doctor and Roman. See if they're going to be able to capitalize on. This has been a really, really long fight, and I'm out of breath. Go for it.
Yeah, that was a pretty good fight right there. Good stall by MetaMorphic. At first, I was just kind of thinking like, okay, well, right now they're just playing for the stall, but then it looked more and more realistic, like they were about to take that back there towards the end. But then, of course, you did have the Nano Boost come onto Dan Twist, and then Doctor dropping their Bongo. Just made so much damage come through that there really wasn't much they could do after that.
Yeah, and I mean they're gonna be going for this high top, setup on this offensive attack with that Junkrat. And speaking of the Junkrat, speaking of the double, he's gonna be going in. But he's able to get 2 there. Another double. He is hitting 1,000, I guess, batting average. And then able to get another one onto Potion. And Cal will be taken down as well on a trade by Gatos, who has been absolutely phenomenal on these trades. But not getting trades and kind of not the greatest timing. You want them beforehand. But Vulcan's able to shut down any hope they had after that kill. Which is some great Hanzo play. And here's a Barrage. Is able to get Mark, and Gatos getting very, very low and taken down by Dan Twist. Able to throw a twist into that one. And yes, I know I've said that twice already. Love it.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why not,
Exactly.
Yeah. So it looks like right now they got a lot of ultimates on the side of MetaMorphic, pretty much only missing their sound barrier. So they got to make sure going into this fight they don't overuse ultimates, but they also want to make sure that they do use enough here.
Yeah, and there's a lot of ultimates going to be coming in. Here's a Blizzard. And he is, wow, Marky Mark's just getting absolutely stunned everywhere. Potion will be able to get a nice kill there onto the opposite support on Muffin Man, but it's going to be interesting to see when JD is going to be using this Diva Bomb, and if he will be using it, he might. Here comes a nano boost there onto Dan Twist, and speaking of the Diva Bomb, there it is, not able to get anything. Dan is able to get Noctis, and Vulcan as well going to chip in, and this fight is going in their favor right now. But as I say that, Vulcan will be taken down, and so is Doctor. So it's really kind of a toss-up. I mean, just Trey's going to be coming in everywhere. Here comes the barrage. They're able to get 2, and that's just going to be it for this one. But Poseidon saying, haha, un momento, por favor, and able to get 1 as well onto Dan Twist. And this fight is just being taken forever, as there's just been able to come back and get the stall. But this is definitely going to be going in the way of the offense, I would presume, unless they want to. Yes, thank you. And they will be going on the side of the offense right now. 3-2 going on to this last one with 2:33 remaining in the time bank to go for this. And what do you think needs to change on the defense to be able to hold this?
I think what really needs to happen is a lot more focus fire. Maybe they want to try to change something up. I don't think the May's doing bad, but maybe a little bit more healing on the side of MetaMorphic. So they might want to switch out the May just to kind of give everyone a little more of a boost. Because right now, if they had 2 defensive ultimates, then they'd be rolling in the deep right there. They'd be doing really good. Another tire coming out. Just playing around with potion there.
Yeah, there's a really nice Earth Shadow there. Able to get through, but not able to capitalize on any. Romanov is going to get traded out there from the offense, and here's a sound barrier and the nano. Don't think they needed to use both of them, but why not? Because they're able to get every single kill there possibly could be. Potion does have that nano boost available, and how do you think they need to use that?
That nano boost, I'd say try to throw it on to possibly JD to try to get him closer to his ultimate, because Gatos is going to be using his in a second here.
They're going to throw it on to the May.
Gatos,
but
gets completely decimated by the rocket barrage. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, they say fatality to your dreams at that point of holding this. And able to take it. We are going to overtime here on Hollywood, and these defenses need to step it up. I'd say they have not been able to hold much, but maybe that'll change here in overtime, because you never know on Hollywood. Yeah, nothing is certain in LA, but you never know going with this. And like I was talking about earlier, what do you think these defenses need to do to be able to hold this offense?
Oh man, to be honest with you, I think what just needs to happen is keeping a like mind with each other and knowing who they're going to want to focus down. Because when the fights come down to it, I feel like it gets a little too scrappy. And I feel like everybody just kind of has their own target they're going for, rather than all of them focusing a similar target or 2, or maybe they all want to focus someone back and they want to all go for that person because they're the most vulnerable, when in reality it might be 1 or 2 people going for that person, but everyone else is getting focused by like the other 5 possibly, and then they're all going to someone else. So I'd say just to make sure that they just have that focus fire and know who they want to take out when.
Yeah, focus fire is just such a huge part of this game. Able to, that's a part of the communications. That's a huge deal. And I'd honestly put having great communications over having excellent aim. I'd put communications over aim, really, because if you're able to have 4 people on 1 person, even if you're I don't know, Jane or something, because that's the first person that comes in my head, you're gonna have a tough time with that. But you never know. Going into this, that anti is not able to get anything, which can be huge for this fight. And both ice walls will be used as well. Some cooldown management coming into play here, and it's really just gonna be the battle of the wills at this point. JD's gonna be demacked here, and Poseidon and Gators are gonna be getting really low. So is JD. JD will be taken down, and Poseidon's able to get a nice kill there onto Romanov. And this is going in the way of the offense right now, as they're able to get this, and Dan Twist is able to get 2 there. Doctor will be traded out, but that's just going to be a consolation at this point. Has 5 seconds remaining, and they will be able to capture this point. Just some stall going to be coming in from the defense just to try to hold them off for a little bit longer in this overtime period. And there's a chance they can actually fight back into this. Oh, JD will be able to take down Dan Twips. There's going to be a kill onto the McCree and Potion. And this fight, yet again, looks like it's going to be over and out 10-4, they say. And, of course, there has to be another stall. But what do you think really happened in that fight to turn it around?
I think what really happened there was that the Diva JD went in to try to get in a little bit of damage because they saw the Maywall come up to try to like push him back and really try to get everyone to focus fire onto them. But there was just so much damage that came through that they had to try to get away. And by that time, they got DMX'd when they hit about the stairs. So then they didn't have the defense matrix to get rid of any of these projectiles coming in and just being able to put in so much damage, get their ults fast, and able to use them. And that's what it looks like they're going to be doing again, using more ultimates.
Yep, ult jambalaya, as I like to call it, a double freeze, so aka Canada in the winter. And there's going to be a triple kill going to be coming out over on the side of Phase 1. And speaking of Phase 1, they are about to be done with Phase 2 at this point. Are about halfway through it, and like the voice that we hear in our headphones so very, very clearly, and we love to hear it when it's on our side, it says team kill. Such a beautiful, beautiful sound. But
yeah. You love to
like
see it, you love to
painting.
hear it, except when you're spectating the enemy after you die.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, then you have to
It
go
feels like the
around.
game is BMing you.
Yeah. But here comes the old jambalaya. Romanov is able to go on, but JD says, here, let me double that one up. Vulcan and Dan's. That's going to be that Bastion and that May, and this offense possibly is a dunzo. D Doctor is able to get Poseidon there. Says, huh, you're not going to rule over this land. You may rule over the sea, but not here on Hollywood. And, I mean, this fight is just going to be, it should be done at this point. With that chase is just going to try to be a nuisance. I mean, there's going to be chase on both sides, but there's going to be chase coming out on Cal and Romanov, and Romanov is able to get another one here after he dies onto Potion. Dan Twist switching over to that soldier, able to get one so far onto JD, and this is just going to be a back and forth fight. I mean, if they stop, or if they get off this payload, they're done for. And here comes a blizzard, which can definitely mean they're done for, and yeah, they are. But they have a really, really nice push in there for them. And on this offense, do you think they're going to be able to match it, seeing what we saw on their first push?
I think that they definitely have the capability to do it, purely because MetaMorphic on their first were able to punish Phase 1 for just kind of seeing the 4 people over on the side a little behind before they were able to cap the point and be like, oh, it's okay, we can just go at them and take them out. And I don't think they showed enough respect still to understand that they still have a damage output. They still can put in work on to you and your team, and they got the 2 picks there. So I think as long as they focus and stay together and don't get over aggroed onto MetaMorphic, that Phase 1 will be able to hold it, and that on the side of MetaMorphic, if they're able to see someone who's getting a little too aggressive, who thinks like, okay, we definitely got this one, and are able to pick them off and punish them for that, that'll be their win condition.
Yeah, and going with that, should be interesting to see where they're going to be going with that. And like you said, respect early on. You definitely to your opponent, but not too much and give them too much free will. But they do have more time here, 44 seconds, and probably 38 because they had 106 on the other side. Quick mass, even though it's summer. Yeah. Anyways, if you don't really have summer, aka you live in Canada. Anyways, yeah, it's really nice actually. Anyways, getting sidetracked because of weather.
Yeah.
We'll be trying to do this, and
Weather's been a little bit everywhere recently. It's understandable. It's just nice to see the sun every once in a while.
oh, it's for sure is after seeing the snow for so long. Anyways, they'll be going through control room, trying to go through cafe, trying to maybe get some coffee here. get some Timmys, get some Tim Hortons while going through it. Maybe, if you're not from Canada, you don't have Tim Hortons near you, you're gonna be really confused after that. But
I can agree with that statement.
anyways, gonna be going on to the point here. Dan Twisted able to get Noctis down, and by the way, you should be confused if you're not from there. Anyways, you're not alone. We're going through this. It should be an interesting push going to be coming out from them. They're able to get a bunch of kills coming in through this, and that Nano is definitely helping on a marky mark. And yeah, he's doing some absolute work with that, showing why he does deserve that Nano boost there. And less than 30 seconds left as that voice inside of our heads says, or earbuds, headphones, whatever you have. But going into this, do you think that they're going to be able to push this to where they had, or do you think this defense can be rock solid, especially with that barrage going to be coming in?
I think that this is such an open point that this is where this Junkrat and Pharah are really going to see the most out of their use. And that wall actually might, if they get Doctor, might make it a little more into their favor, but you're going to see all these ultimates come out from the side of phase 1 that are just going to be able to take them all out.
Yeah, that should be it. That was insane. Even with the huge anti-nade, Vulcan and Dan coming in with it in phase 1, able to win their second map. They're going on to phase 3, aka map 3. Yes, I just slid that one in there. And by the way, I don't know if we're doing this live or not, so I'm just gonna, or if we're doing this or not. Actually, should I throw in the MVP?
MVP, it doesn't matter if we're going to be live or not, man. Everybody needs to think, all right, who is doing good here? Everyone needs to look at somebody and think, okay, they did a really good job here. Because as you can see from both sides, that there is always someone who is pulling their weight and doing a really good job and kind of going that extra mile, whether it be Dan Twist getting those crazy barrages, Romanoff with his tires, Noctis with his great sound barriers. It just comes down to it. You're looking at all these guys going, wait, what are they doing? They're doing the best they can. They're doing great. And that's why you got to think like, all right, well, who was the most valuable there? If you're not really thinking like who's the most valuable, then who are you supposed to like kind of look up to? Maybe if you're a player yourself, or maybe if you're just a fan, who is going to be your favorite on that team? And that's kind of what will probably help you decide that a little bit.
Yeah. And
so whether you're voting below or just saying it in a comment section, just
screaming it to your mother. You're just
or just tell your mom.
Noctis is MVP, mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to explain that one later at dinner. Anyways, it should be interesting to see.
Yeah.
And you will be able to vote for your MVP down in the description below, like we love to see. And if you're watching us on D Live, if we're casting this on D Live, if we're not, then I'm kind of like looking like a baboon. But whatever, what's new? If you're on D Live, go ahead and shoot us over on Twitch. Have it up and double screen muted on one side. I don't really care. We love you guys. D Live over there on that side. And I believe this is the second tournament we're doing on D Live, so it's great that you guys join us, and go ahead and hit us over on Twitch. Go ahead and hit us with, a tier 3 sub, or, a Twitch Prime. That never hurts. Or, just hit us with a follow. It doesn't really matter. Thank you guys. No matter what we do it for you guys, no matter if it's live or it's pre-recorded. We all love you guys, whatever we do. And map bans and picks will be coming in. will be selecting the next map. Dorado will be banned. And Zach, after seeing this, what do you think will be picked from Metamorphosis? Or Metamorphic.
From Metamorphic, I'm not sure, to be honest. They're gonna want to go something. They want to run their goats. They want to show off how good they can be at the goats. But phase 1 is just kind of showing how they're really good at this, more of a different bunker-ish. Just kind of depends, I guess, on how they want to put their play style and who is going to be their DPS character's choice. But I think they're really going to look for a map that has great potential for goats and is really, really hard on bunker comps, or maybe is a lot easier to run with the goats on both sides.
Yeah. And what map do you think that could... Oh, well, we got it. I don't really have to answer that. Oh, wait, this will be picked by the side of Metamorphic. And it should be interesting to see how they're going to be running this. I mean, do you think they'll... there's definitely a good chance they'll be running goats, but do you think they will?
Yeah, I think that Metamorphic will probably run goats on, I believe, University. The bunker there, it can be really strong and really good, but as long as they have good rotations to get up to that bunker, because it can be in such like close quarters, and you're able to have like all these different you can go up the left side, speed boost, and just kind of jump right onto them if they're just hanging out on like their little gateway on point. Maybe if they're over in the little health pack room, you can just speed boost in there. So that's going to be the really hard one for them. And then, of course, phase one, you know who they got to save. It's that Orisa, what they love, the bread
yeah.
and butter for their
They
comps
love,
right now.
Yeah, they love that. Yeah, I mean, Doctor is not like he's definitely not being like, oh my god, they banned my Orisa. No, he loves Orisa.
You can't
definitely
ban
wants
what
that to
they
be saved. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think they were gonna ban it anyways because he just loves playing that Orisa.
Yeah, Metamorphic. You know, that it really is a hard choice of what they want to ban. I think if they really wanted to try to ban a specific character, maybe since you can see how flexible their DPS can be, maybe stay away from the DPS ban and go towards maybe that support ban, because the nano boosts seem to have been really good, but they also really like having it on their side, so it's going to be really difficult. Basically, they could just throw out any ban, and it probably wouldn't even affect how phase one really plays.
Next, they've been so flexible, and that's a key part of Overwatch is if you're able to play multiple heroes. If you're a Torbjorn one trick, yeah, ... But if you're able to play nearly every single support, then you are absolutely fine. We love you, Torbjorn main sometimes, but when you're on the other team, but we love you. Smiley face. But no support heroes, the grunts of the team, we love you as well, especially those Brigitas. We haven't seen any of those so far in this game, I don't believe. But I mean, what hero do you think they will be banning here? If you're gonna take a wild guess or anything.
If I'm just gonna take a wild guess, possibly the Pharah, because with the Pharah just being in the sky and really the only one that's able to get to it is the Diva JD, then maybe they're just want to try to get rid of that. So that way they have other characters on the ground for the most part, make it a little bit easier for the Focus Fire to come in and not have to worry about so many different angles.
Yeah, and if they were to ban a support, what do you think they would be banning?
If they were to ban a support, I think they would probably, their best bet would probably be the Ana. The only issue is that they wouldn't have that Ana, and they really do really well, I think, with the Ana. I think Potion has made a great Ana from what I've seen so far. So it's just really, man, it's really just a tough one for them. So I think their best bet would probably be to ban the Pharah, or if they really wanted to ban a support, probably the Ana.
Yeah, of course, with that, and you gotta weigh the pros and the cons here, and apples and apples, really. I mean, it's, do you want to ban your Ana and their Ana, and go and pray that they aren't a absolute god on another support? But that's kind of the risk you take. I mean, it's their choice to see what they will be banning. Hopefully, at some point in this next decade. But
yeah. I mean, they really want to think hard about this one, because honestly, I think the Pharah would be their best choice for the ban, but they may not realize it, or maybe they have thought of a way. It's like, oh, Pharah definitely wouldn't be good to ban, and I'm just being a forehead. Maybe I don't notice it. Maybe they do notice it. Who knows?
But
it could happen.
You know, a dark horse I could see being banned is the Mei. That's one I could potentially see, because on that last map, Vulcan was getting outmade there on from Gatos, and was able to get some really nice plays in there, especially with the blizzards. But Oasis can be used, and
after all that time, they're just gonna decide to ban Reaper again. The Reaper did do very good in the first match.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised. Romanov is kind of a big favorite of the Reaper. So I think that it probably isn't that bad of a ban, but I really think that the Pharah ban would have been the best option there.
Yeah. And the thing with this is it may be just a mind game of, hey, we want to tilt him, and then is going with that, but you never know. with some of these teams and what they're thinking, because it's really their minds that make it up of what they're thinking. And it should be interesting to see how they're going to be going with this. And yeah, should be fun. So
Yeah.
Zach, you got
That's my
anything
name.
planned for this summer?
Anything planned for this summer? Well, this weekend I am going camping with my mother and sister and her family. And then after that, I'm spending a week with my grandparents, hang out with them. I don't know. I got D&D planned for tomorrow.
Ooh, that's fun.
Hopefully, we're going to be able to do that a lot more over the summer. And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Who cares about my life? Let's go back into Oasis. You know what I mean?
A lot of people care about your life, Zach. Everyone's important in this world.
Such a positive guy, Aries.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, University with this first map here. This one, you can definitely run the goats on here. This is definitely probably
for
the
sure.
best one for goats. It's
Yeah.
just so, it can get so close quarters. I think with the Arisa, you got to be really careful about this little middle pit to make sure that you're not getting sucked into it, because you won't die, of course, but you're going to be down 2 people for probably about, I don't know, 8 seconds roughly, just an estimate. And that 8 seconds could be just the difference between you having all your people up still and maybe you get a couple picks, or you lose all 4 of your people or all 5 of your teammates just because you weren't able to be there and provide what utilities you can.
Yeah, and one thing that I think I kind of touched on earlier was, able to stick on to your cooldown usage. There we go, words finally coming out of my mouth. That's a huge part. Even like cooldown economy, it may be, honestly, it may be somewhat more important than ultimate economy, because that's something that you have a lot of. Like in the resurrection is a huge one that a lot of people have, but Bastion will be run here and not a complete goats from either team. Should be interesting to see. There's going to be a 3-man anti there, but there will be that invincibility shield to help them with that. And the shield is breaking really, really quickly here for Mark. JD's actually been already demeched here very early on, and Gatos will be taken out of University. And this has just been a really, really nice fight win from phase 1, as they've done throughout this series very, very well. And they're not running goats either. They're running triple DPS. Wow, I cannot count today. But going with that, and I mean, what do you think can be countered?
What do I think could be countered here? I say they were going to want to stick with this McCree to try to take out the Pharah. It'd be a lot easier, because the Pharah is not going to get pretty much any healing now because of Cal just hopefully, pardon me, hitting those right clicks onto Dan Twist. So he's just going to like to play a little bit farther back, and hopefully that he's going to be able to get picked off by them. But he's playing around the walls right now, doing pretty well. They're getting pushed up on, but not much they can do when there's so much damage coming through.
Yeah, Swifer, where you at? Because I think your company just got liquidated there and taken over, because this industry is dumb because they just got wiped, and I think I drew that out for a little bit too long, but who cares?
Yeah. It's fine, man. You know, you throw whatever you can at the board, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, move on.
Yeah, you changed that analogy a good bit there, as we've changed some names in this so far, but you know.
Yeah. No, I'm not calling out anyone in particular, but right now they're hiding behind this wall, waiting for them to come through so they can pull down the bongo.
Yep. And Dan was able to get 1 here so far. Gonna be traded up by not just 75% for this point and counting. And they're doing Muffin able to get a double boop there. I think they were already jumping off, and he just booped them just to say he got that. But yeah, whatever. They're basically at 90%, and this could be the last fight on University. And they have a good bit of ultimates going into this. Both teams do. But and speaking of a lot of ults, here comes the ultimate Jambalaya. As there's a tank not able to get anything. The Blizzard's able to get 1. Tank's actually by Gatos into 4. Whew. Doctor able to get Poseidon there, able to flip this point. I caught myself this time. but two players that actually caught out and very, very split up from the team in opposite spawns. The Lucia and the Orisa on the side of phase 1. And here comes High Noon. See if they can get anything. It doesn't look like it at all. Not able to get it. Able to zone out pretty well, but that's about it. They're nearly able to capture the point. This could definitely be the last fight of University. Muffin's going to be taken down very, very early into the cannot be good for this attacking side. And he falls to the hands of Poseidon. On the McCree making that switch pretty soon here, and Mark's able to get a nice pinch there onto Roman, and this fight's over. About a couple of kills before that, but I mean, looking at this defense so far, do you think they could hold this the entire time?
MetaMorphic, I think that they can definitely hold this. It's really just going to be about maintaining your ground and not letting them get too far in there, keeping good focus onto Dan Twist, just making sure that he's not able to output as much damage as he has been, and try to just keep him in check.
Yeah, and Gators will be taken down, but able to take down Dan Twist there after the Graviton Surge, but Romanov able to get pushed, and this is going to be a very, very crucial fight after that Isol being picked up. And Muffin and Romanov breaking their way into this point. Another Isol will be taken, will be put up here, and these next kills could be so crucial. So crucial, and it's looking as if phase 1 will be taking University as a good possibility here, but as I say that, so many ultimates will be popped here, but Vulcan's able to get a double and able to get another one there. Potion, Marky Mark, and a JD will be falling to the hands of the Junkrat from Australia. But going with Snow Time will be ticking down, and apparently aiming is hard. And 1-0 to phase 1 on this. And what is your take from University after that from both teams?
I think that it just feels like MetaMorphic don't really have any follow-up when they do kind of throw what they have in there, because that grab, yeah, it only caught I think 2 people, but no one even really went for it. And we're gonna have a pause, it seems.
What's a North American game without a pause?
I 100% agree. If you don't have a pause sometime during your match, did you really have a match?
Exactly. Did you really?
Did you really have a match? I mean,
or a disconnect. Yeah. Or a disconnect as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, disconnect. It happens.
Getting back
Speaking
into
of things
this.
happening,
Yeah.
it's about to happen again in the next 15 seconds, where we're going to be going in here.
And 10 seconds left till they will be attacking here. What do you think of these compositions so far?
I think MetaMorphic have kind of seen the effects that they were able to pull out on the side of phase 1, and they want to try to do something similar to that, hoping that it'll work for them. We have another pause.
Hey, Cal.
Kyle left the game. Hey, disconnect.
Yep.
It's an NA game. We have a match. Yes.
Woo-hoo! Yay! Should I get the confetti?
Yeah, sure. Pop it.
I don't have any confetti.
Oh,
Sorry.
did you bang me like that? Right here.
I mean, I got compressed gas that you use for a duster if you need that.
Yeah, just poof. Why not?
Yeah, just get a lighter. Don't do that, by the way.
Hey.
Don't
Alright.
do that.
No, I wouldn't say it's a smart idea,
Yeah,
personally.
definitely not the best way to spend your time in a hospital.
Well, I don't think I hope you wouldn't be doing that in the hospital, and I hope you wouldn't do that before the hospital. Frankly, I hope you wouldn't do it at all.
Yeah,
Excuse
exactly.
me.
Let's just stray away from that, just in case
Yeah,
there are any
Let's
viewers
go back
that,
to the team comps. while we wait
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
So on the side of MetaMorphic, we got the Orisa, the Sombra, Farah, Hanzo, Ana, Lucio, and you can feel kind of the essence of what phase 1 was pulling off there, except they're going to try to go with the Sombra, because the Sombra can be really good if you're able to hack that far out of the sky, bring them back on the ground, and attack from there. Plus Gatos on that Farah. They don't really have much of an answer for it unless Vulcan on the Hanzo can hit his shots really well in the air, which it can be difficult at times. But when you're watching such high levels of play and really good players, you can't expect it to happen.
Yeah, and Poseidon going on the Sombra, we haven't seen that all of this series so far. And it will be interesting to see how they're going to be using that. Maybe using it to scout, maybe not. We have seen teams go for a scout with it, and some teams that just want to roll with it. And let's see if MetaMorphic is one of those teams to roll with it or just scout with it, because that can definitely change depending on how they want to use it. And I mean, do you think they'll use it to scout, or do you think they'll use it fully for the entire map?
I think that there's a very good chance that they use it in the entire map, because the hack is going to be super crucial for just making sure the Pharah can't fly or the Orisa can't use her Fortify, and it just makes it easier to kind of collapse onto certain people. And the EMP would be super useful because their defensive ultimates, the defensive ultimate by Muffin Man really hasn't had much answers to it, you know, unless you want to use one on your side to kind of try to negate it. But if you use an EMP, that sound barrier is just going to get completely wiped away. And not only that, no one's going to have their abilities that is caught in that. So it should be a lot easier to actually collapse on that. But that's kind of what we've been seeing a little bit of a lack from, I feel like, from the side of MetaMorphic, that they really just need to push together as a team and just keep that focus fire, just roll in, make sure they know who they want to take out. Because as long as they're able to sweep one or two out from the rug, the whole thing's just going to fall over. It's like a house of cards. You knock out one of the cards, chances are it's going to ruin the whole thing. So you just want to keep focused, make sure that you have who you want to focus in mind, and just attack upon that.
Yeah. Or here's an alternative. Or your Jenga blocks. If you're Jenga, I'd rather be Jenga blocks than a house, than like a stack of cards, or like a temple of cards, I guess you'd say. Because when you take one part of the temple of cards out, then they all fall. But in Jenga, whenever you take a brick out, it can still sustain itself. So say one of your supports goes down, that's just a brick out of the Jenga. On one team, they're able to still function. And if you're another team, and if that same player or same hero goes down, and then you're absolutely done, you're toast, then that's more like cards, because you're relying on everything coming together and blending, which isn't the worst idea, but it's, like I said, it's like cards really. But yeah, it's really how you want to play. But the game is launching for Cal right now, just an update on that. And
rather it happen here near the end than somewhere near the beginning, because who knows, we could have had troubles the whole time. So I'm happy that if it is going to happen during the match, it is going to happen more towards the end, or who knows, maybe we're in the middle of it and MetaMorphic might pull off the reverse. Who knows?
You never know.
It's gonna be really hard for them, but I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, have you seen the Boston versus Paris match? You know, it's kind of like, it's possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait, was that Boston and Paris? I think that was Boston and Paris, because I remember a clip of Cruz not being the happiest, slamming his mouse down, having himself a little bit of a temper outburst, and then he just went straight face mode and then went back to the handshakes, which, you know, that'll happen.
Yeah,
I've been guilty of getting a little too aggressive,
yeah,
one may say, while playing a game, because it's really intense and you're really trying your hardest, and it just feels super frustrating to lose sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I can't really transition from that very well to this, but thank you.
Well, hey, no need to be mad if you're finally back.
Yeah, but thank you to Kalistai for the tier 1 sub. Thank you very, very much. Muchas gracias, señor, señorita.
Shout out.
Yeah. Yeah, merci beaucoup.
Yeah,
and
turn
that was
up.
in 3 different languages, by the way. Turn up.
Right on. Speaking of getting that pick onto Dan Twist, that's what Poseidon's going to be able to do there. Just getting picks now.
And Roman was able to bring it back, and Cal's going to be taken down here very early on. And this should be going into the side of MetaMorphic. as this could be the last point of this series due to phase 1 being up 2-1 in maps and 1-0 here on Oasis, just trying to win this one out. And I mean, from that first fight, just able to get those really nice early picks on the targets that mattered and able to get that focus prioritization. Yes, I finally said that word right. And whoa, that was a nice hook. Not able to capitalize on it after that wall, but they will be going to this Mercy is Noctis. But they're so close to capturing this point just really early there. And this Lucio is just trying to be a nuisance to Sarisa and definitely working right now. And this healing has been absolutely brilliant on the side of MetaMorphic and on the side of phase 1. That's really been some of the unsung heroes so far. And speaking of healing, here comes the Valkyrie. On the side of Noctis, able to get Marky, and Gatos is able to get 2 there before being taken down by Romanov. And this could definitely be going into the favor, but it does not look like it right now. And there's a 3-man EMP. And here comes the bomb goes down. And the Nano is able to get 1. And Romanov's just popping off, able to get 2. Doesn't even need a Nano. And Doctor's also able to get 1 here. And they're able to flip this at 64% to around 5. And, I mean, was that good ult usage on the side of MetaMorphic? Or do you think they definitely could have been better with it?
I think that, well, of course, looking back on it, you think they could have been better with it. You know, they lost the fight. Maybe if they were to realize that a little bit earlier on, they could still have one of those. But I think in the heat of the moment there, they used what they thought was necessary. And, you know, hindsight is 20/20. Anybody can say what they should have done in hindsight, but when you're in the moment, it could be a little more difficult.
Yeah, hindsight 2021 next year. I'm sorry. Anyways. Oh my god. JD's gonna get slept here, not able to be fully going down. Speaking of going down, Gatos gets so low. But Marky's gonna get even lower by going 6 feet under, and Vulcan as well. But Marky's actually gonna get res from the dead, and so Potion will not be that fortunate as Doctor will be taking him down. And Dan Twist does have this whole hog, and see how they're going to be using this. 50% for them, and a very nice fight win from them there. And what pick do you really think contributed to that win?
I think no matter what, all picks are probably the best. But frankly, taking out Marky Mark like at the start of a fight is insane, because then it's just a shield versus no shield. You just have so much more sustain on the point there, and you just really find it hard to get yourself picked there. But speaking about getting picked, Romanov again able to get a pick on a Marky Mark. Actually, I believe last time it was Vulcan that got the pick. I could be wrong.
Never know. And not just able to get that res over on that side, but Potion and Marky are going to be taken down here from that anti-nade. And here comes Dragon. See how much going to be able to get. He's able to get 1 onto Romanov, but Romanov's able to get Gatus before he dies. And here comes Bob, the abused robot. And Dan Twist is able to get 2 here with Whole Hog. It's going to be huge. And oh my goodness, they get so close to winning the series just then. And they are in overtime. And here comes a sound barrier. And it looks like phase 1. Oh my goodness. Phase 1 will be taking this series 3-0, 3-0, 2-0 on Oasis. Phase 1, GG's all around. GG's well played. And what a series from them there. I mean, there are definitely some ups and downs, and it wasn't just a complete roll. But, I mean, yet again, you can go ahead and vote for your MVP. But who do you think was your MVP for this match?
I think that the MVP, I don't know. I think it's probably, for me, gonna be... Oh, that's just so hard for me. I feel like there were so many good players on both sides today. I don't know. I don't know if I can pick one. I think a lot of people did really pop off there and did really good. So, for me, I can't pick right now. It's just so hard for me.
Well, the viewers will be... the viewers will be able to pick your MVP. And by the way, the Doctor is in. Doctor, I can't say the rest of your name, but
Foreskin.
well, yeah, I guess.
Sorry.
TOS.
What?
Anyways, did anyone say that? Yeah. Salt Shaker, Doctor, how are you doing today after that win?
Doing pretty good. We just kind of like showed up. I woke up at like 6 p.m.
Jeez. 6 p.m. Good
Yeah.
heavens, dude.
Ah,
I woke up at 4:30 in the morning today.
damn.
God.
I went to bed at like noon.
Jesus.
All right.
Anyways,
Enough
I
about
gotta-
sleeping schedules. Let's talk about this game.
Yeah. Okay. So a quick question about your comms during the pick and bans. What was the comms like from Romanov after both times the Reaper got banned?
He was a little upset because he wanted to just play Reaper. He's a Reaper one trick.
Oh.
Just typical clown. But we just kind of threw him on whatever he wanted to play pretty much. He just played Junkrat Ash. Just did his thing.
Yeah. That was great coming out from you guys. Did you guys have any strategies you guys wanted to use for really any map coming into the series to like scout Metamorphic before this?
I didn't even know what they were. We just kind of like showed up. Like, I don't know.
Dang, it happens.
So it just kind of happens.
Yeah, your team comp was really interesting, and to see it do really well, pretty much all the way through the match. Was this just something you guys kind of made up on the fly, or was this like, okay, yeah, no, we can definitely try this out? Where did you kind of get like the idea of this sort of comp from?
All right, so this was just me and Cyphate at like 5 in the morning. We were just theory crafting like the best possible team comp, and we just kind of like threw everything into the blender and hit start. You dig? And we just came out with like Orisa Reaper stuff, just popping off.
Yeah, and
5 a.m.
Really-
theory crafts are definitely the best.
that's where real team comps come from. The 5 a.m. theory
Yeah.
crafts. You think they were just like, why not just throw 3 tanks and 3 supports on the team and see how it happens? No, they were up until 5 a.m. and they're like, hey, you know, it'd be a wild idea.
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
That's how it happens.
So basically every Red Hot Chili Pepper song ever. But
Yeah. After this fight, seeing what Metamorphic had and how they kind of switched it up and kind of went with a style like yours, where it was that Orisa 3D or was it 2 DPS or 3 DPS and then a couple supports.
I don't even remember.
Going into that one, and you guys did a really fast change after you lost that first fight, which I think was definitely like the perfect call. Do you think that there is probably going to be a really good counter to this comp that you're running? You don't have to share it, of course, but do you think that there's something in your mind where like, oh, if they were to run this, we'd be done for?
Well, yes and no, because like, yes, you can just counter all of the DPS, but the whole comp just circles around blowing up one target at a time. So unless you play like very, very long sight lines, it's just GG. Go next.
Yeah. What do you think as maybe hero ban? I thought that they were gonna pick the Pharah, but they decided to pick the Reaper again.
They're scared.
Yeah, they're afraid of the Reaper.
Yeah, when you put the Reaper in the jungle and he has the nano boost, like what can they do?
Not much. Pulling out the Beyblade, showing them what's good. You know, especially there on
Exactly.
Lijiang Tower, able to pull that out a couple times. If let's say you were to lose that first map, and maybe they did decide to ban Orisa, are you comfortable with all the tanks, or is Orisa kind of like your main sort of?
Well, man, I'm a DPS
go-to.
player. I play Reaper. I play Brig. Yeah, if they banned
Yes.
Orisa, I'd probably just play Brig.
yes. I love it. I'm a Brigitte main. Anyways.
Well, who isn't a Brig main, man? Everybody is.
Yeah. I love my long walks on the beach as well. Anyways.
Just flailing around.
Exactly. But thank you, Doctor, for coming in here. And because of Twitch TOS, you made me not be able to say the full name and nearly made me trip a
It's
couple of
fine.
times.
It's perfectly fine.
Sure. Anyways.
The only
Thank
time
you
I
for
said it was
coming
when you
in.
joined.
Yeah. Anyways, thank you for coming in here and doing this, and congratulations on the win, and good luck in the future.
Yeah,
Alright.
anything you'd like to give thanks to? Maybe you want to plug something really quick?
Well, I love Cyphate. It was his birthday like yesterday, so happy birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Cyphate. Turn up.
Alright, that's about it.
All right.
No,
Nice.
no mother
Sweet and
shout
to
out?
the
Wow.
point.
Yep.
Well,
Oh, hey.
I got a
You're
little
MVP.
for you as well, Doctor. You're the MVP.
Hell yeah.
Woohoo!
no surprise there, to be honest with you. Orisa play was really, really good, knowing when to be aggressive there and when to be a little more on the passive side.
Well, congratulations with that, and with this we'll be wrapping it up, and thank you for coming in here for the interview.
All right, no problem.
All right, and with that, we will be doing the outro for you guys. I thank you for coming out and watching this and supporting all of what we do, as we love every single one of you guys for doing this. I have been Aries. I've been your playcaster for today. If you guys want to catch me, you can catch me on Instagram at Aries_Thompson, ARES, and then Thompson, how you think you would spell it, with an H and a P. You know the drill, guys. Go ahead and hit me up on there if you guys want to see my daily life and different things like that. Yeah. Poor Zach, do you have anything that you want to shout out?
Yeah, you can find me, Poor Zach, on Twitch. I'll be streaming Overwatch. I'm really into Battalion at the current time. And I might be a little more variety with it. Sometimes I like to stream when I'm watching old VOD reviews to kind of get ready for matches. YouTube, Poor Zach, again, same thing. Pretty much all I use. You can find me on Instagram as well. That's kind of my more personal thing. So if you want to get to know me a little bit more, a little bit better of what I like to do outside of this bubble, just go ahead and you can look inside my personal bubble a little bit.
Yeah. Take you deep inside of Poor Zach's mind.
No one wants to be there. That's a bad idea.
Okay, anyways. Well, with that, we have one more shout out to do. Refused is the producer for all of our games here. We could not be here without him. He has been absolutely lovely. I'm sure there's been no black screens today, hopefully. And yeah, we have actually turned into Star Esports. Yeah, with that, a little bit trying to, possibly do some other things. You never know. I'm not saying anything just in case I'm not allowed to or anything. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming out here. Have a good night, good morning, good evening, wherever you guys are in the world. We love you all, and see you later.
Have a good one.